Imagine for a moment that you live the perfect life, a meaningful romantic relationship, the greatest family, meaningful work, the ability to go on whatever adventures at whatever times you possibly want. And while you're on one of these adventures, you get separated from your group, you end up with amnesia, and also physically injured in ways where you cannot work. Now, after a while, you start getting hungry and thirsty, and exposure, either too hot or too cold, and getting bitten by bugs. And as you get to this point where you feel like the lowest point in your entire life, a stranger comes up and says, "Hey, I run an organization for an anonymous donor that asked me to go and make sure people are looked after. And I can see it looks like something's happened with your arm. Maybe it's broken. And something with your leg there. Would I be able to look after you and make sure you get back to health?" And you explain that you don't know where you are and how you ended up in this place. Say, "You know what? I'll look after you." Hey there, Daniel Hartman, Community Machinery, Sackville, New Brunswick. Today's virtue of the day is charity. Now, charity doesn't necessarily need to be anonymous, but the anonymous part can really help our imagination. And as well, it allows those people who are receiving charity to really recognize, instead of repaying where that thing came from, to pay it forward. Which in charity, if anyone who's ever seen that movie, Pay It Forward, most beautiful movie ever, in terms of recognizing we all have a really precious gift to give others. And it's not always about repayment, because then we start looking more at our own guilt than what we really have to give, what we have to offer. And how the more we create outside relationships instead of just a back and forth give and take, but really expand outwards, that's really the nature of charity and freely giving. And some really cool things when I started looking at the virtue of the day that came to my mind were how, before we really get into having extravagant things in our lives, to really look around at those in our community and say, do I really need a brand new sports car? Do I really need that whole shop full of tools that's sitting there? That's this guy. Oh wow. How am I using my resources in a way that allows me to be of the greatest service possible? And it's not one of those things about just changing right overnight, but really a slow progress in terms of really looking at how resources aren't just meant for us and to put up bigger walls in order to keep other people out, but how we can share and nurture and create optimism in the world, where when we contribute to the lives of others, that we're more likely to have that same thing shine on us. In terms of, no matter what level we're at, there's always going to be someone that's got more experience, things like running a business or being charitable or dealing with conflicts in a family or physical health. All these things, there's people that are at a level where there's a saying, learn by teaching. And for people who are a little bit further ahead, nothing can be more valuable than providing mentorship to someone else who wants to learn, because sharing with someone else is how we deepen our own wisdom. So even something like mentoring someone in skills of learning how to read is just a huge gift. And for lifelong learners, which is all of us, that thing never ends. There's always an opportunity to give charity, no matter what your financial status is or how your academic standing, whatever it is besides the point. It's really starting with the intention to be charitable and moving from there in terms of recognizing things will start coming into alignment. So on that note, I'm setting my intention to being more charitable. I'm going to actually mind map that idea out. I wish you all the best on your desire to become charitable and recognizing how good it feels to be a global citizen, to realize that we don't end at the tips of our fingers, that we're really infinite and that we're all connected. So on that note, please like, please subscribe, hit that bell button for notifications. Rest assured, another Virtue of the Day tomorrow. And comment below to share what you think of charity and being virtuous. And looking forward to catching you tomorrow and sharing another Virtue of the Day.